Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we're going to be diving into a pretty important topic. As you can tell by the title of the video, we are going to be talking about the monetization in Predecessor. So I'm actually recording this live. Shout out to you guys in the chat. I definitely appreciate you for hanging out with me. Let's just dive into the topic. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, Predecessor content, all that stuff. We got to talk about the monetization because I think that there is some business practices and specifically monetization that is going on in Pred that I'm not particularly happy with. But before we go any deeper, I'm going to put a pin in that right here and say, I want to talk about this patch, the V0.18 patch, and what it did well, because oftentimes I get a lot of comments or I get people that think that all I ever do is complain. So let me just nip it in the bud right here and let me tell you what this patch has done very well, because I do think that this is a good patch. And it's not this topic's not even about this patch, it's about monetization in total, but I want to give some pros and some positives about what Pred is doing. So first and foremost, with this patch, we got the new mode, we got the brawl mode, which I didn't go to the same spot at all. We got the new brawl mode, and it's a casual mode. I think that this is something that I've played like maybe 4 matches on, and it's fun. It's not for me, right? And that's okay. I think that this mode is absolutely a positive to the game. I think that this patch is a net positive to the game, and I think that a mode like this has the opportunity to retain people that might otherwise never touch Predecessor again because they want something more casual. They want something a little bit quicker. So big shout outs for Brawl. I think Brawl is great. I think that it feels good. I think that it's fun. I've had my fun in it. I don't play it a lot, but yeah, big shout outs to Brawl. I think that is absolutely a positive for this patch. Now, the item change, the item reworks. There's a lot to unpack here. I think that it's, in general, it's just a net positive. Yes, it's not perfect yet. It was a massive change. I think in general, this whole patch in terms of balance feels okay. It feels pretty decent, but just having that 6th slot feels really, really impactful for the game. I think that this patch feels like a really solid foundational patch. You want the casual game mode in to retain casual players, and you want that 6 item slot so that way they can kind of control the balance a little bit, change some of the power curves, give us more room for building components, change up some of the items, build, make new items, and I think that they accomplish all that. So V0.18, solid patch. Let's get into the discussion about monetization. So let's go to the store. And I'm going to hit this in 2 different topics. It's going to be 2 specific talking points when talking about monetization, and we're going to start with the simple one first. Predecessor cosmetic content from a monetization standpoint is far too expensive. It's simple, cut and dry. It's been the tale as old as time in terms of Predecessor content releases. The content is far too expensive. Now, I'm going to try to explain why I think it's too expensive, and I'm going to explain why I think it doesn't matter. I think the content is too expensive because I'm pretty sure that they are valuing the content that they make, the cosmetics that they make, versus how much time it takes them to create it. The problem with doing that is the consumer doesn't really give a shit how much time it takes for them to make it. Like if it takes someone, a 40-hour work week to create a skin, and it takes somebody else a 3-week work week to create a skin, whether it's legendary or epic or recolor or whatever the case may be, the end user doesn't really give a shit. We don't really care how long it takes to make the content. We care about the content versus the product versus the cost, right? So when I look at a skin, like I look at this Bellica skin, I'm going to look at it. It's in the game. I'm going to say, is this skin good? Like, to me, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. Is the skin versus the product of the actual game itself? Like, is the game doing well enough for me to support the game and give it money? Sure, I think so. Yeah, I like playing the game. I get a lot of fun and free entertainment out of the game. So personally, for me, I would spend money on the game. And then I compare that to the actual price itself. Now, I got to be honest, I don't play Bellica. I'm a jungler. So this doesn't really matter to me that much. But I think the entire theme of it all is very important. 2,400 platinum for this skin. I don't think that that's terrible. I think that it feels a little overpriced, but I think the entire content in the game feels overpriced. I think that they could probably take their prices down by like 10 to 15% in general, and that's just like really kind of the main talking point about the monetization. Like I think recolors are a bit expensive. I think that everything in the store, in every facet of the store where you can look at it, where you can purchase it, is too expensive. Now, I am going to say that I think that this issue is a bit exacerbated by the fact that we don't have anything to spend our amber on. This is a major system that I have to assume is coming in the future, and I am going to do a light touch on affinity here in a bit as well, but when you only have content that is purchasable at a premium, meaning you have to spend money for it, it definitely doesn't feel good when those prices feel a little over, a little expensive, a little overpriced, and there just genuinely is no way to unlock the content otherwise, right? I think that that's very important. Like these prices, I've really considered this. They might not actually feel that bad if there's a free to play cost associated with them, and then we can just grind them, right? I'm sitting on 108,000 Amber as of the time of recording this, and so who knows? I don't really know how much they would make the Amber cost, but I think that just the fact alone that it doesn't exist definitely exacerbates the issue a little bit. So in general, to kind of wrap up this particular talking point of monetization and the discussion that we're having, I do think that the content is a little too overpriced. But that's not even the biggest issue. So I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to jump to Affinity, and we're going to talk to Affinity really quickly. And Affinity is also not the biggest issue. So let's go to Aurora because she's new, right? Let's look at the Affinity tab. My opinion of Affinity has been consistent. It's going to remain consistent, and I'm going to tell it to you again just to reiterate. The Affinity system, the Affinity battle passes, the mastery system, whatever you want to call it, it should never have been a premium cost. It should never have had an associated cost. It always should have been for free. Now, this is where I feel like the discussion gets much more nuanced, and I have to explain why. Because when I've said that in the past, the first bit of criticism I get is, well, Krashy, it's a free-to-play game. How do you expect them to make money? Keep that question in the back of your head for a second. So, the reason that this system should never have had a premium cost is because when you create a system like this and you give it to your players, they feel very respected. They feel taken care of. They have so much respect for you, and they feel like, wow, how great of a feeling it is to have a developer that invests in me as the player, right? So what does that do? It makes the players feel good. It makes the players happy. It gives them a bunch of content that they can earn, and rightfully so. You guys see how long it takes to unlock some of these affinities when you don't pay for the 30% boost off of the premium. It is a lot of content that they've created that is the only content in the game. Even now, still, it is the only content in the game that you can just spend time on to unlock. Unfortunately, you can only unlock 50% of it, and that is that top row, that free path versus the bottom row, the premium path. Now, I've already given my discussion about it in the past. I think paying for a boost is shitty because it makes you feel like you have to pay for it. Unless you don't, you just have to unlock it super slow if you don't. It just doesn't, this system doesn't feel good. It feels like a system that absolutely could have been for free, and they just went on ahead and put a cost on it on top of it. Now, that's just the first part of it. The second issue that I have with this system is that they introduced this system in October of 2023, and there was like the blog post where they introduced the system, and originally, before Amber was ever created, they said that they were going to have an affinity token that you could unlock for free to unlock the premium path. That was October 2023. Currently, it is, June 2024. That was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago. They have never touched back on it. They have never given us any confirmation that that's still happening. And naturally, very much so naturally, I absolutely assume, it's a safe assumption, that there will eventually be an associated Amber cost for this system. It makes the most sense. I think that's the bare minimum that they can do, to be completely honest. If I was them, I would make Affinity for free. So that's my opinion on Affinity. Obviously, at some point, they have to give us an associated Amber cost for this because people want to unlock the content. I don't want my time, my game experience to feel 30% reduced just because I don't want to give you money. And I feel a little bit slighted and a little bit resentful for the fact that they originally promised a free purchasing path for this and then never delivered. So we're still waiting on that. That's my opinion on Affinity. It kind of ties into the monetization discussion because, dude, 500 platinum, or, kind of like $5 per hero, that's not nothing, right? And this is the nuance of the discussion. There is a opportunity cost in every decision you make. And here's the opportunity cost for Affinity. When you make Affinity cost $5 per hero, the opportunity cost is that you are forcing the players to spend money, and you will take in a return of financial return off that, right? You create content, you produce the content, you take a financial return. Had you made the content for free, you would have created content at a loss. You would have created content at a loss because they weren't going to make any money off of it, but the return would have been goodwill, respect, and faith in your development. That, I think personally, is a higher value than $5 per hero, but I digress. They took the money path as opposed to the perceptual path of people respecting them and feeling respected and being appreciative. So just some food for thought. All right, now let's jump back into the store, and I'm going to continue the last little bit of the discussion in terms of monetization. The bundles. This specifically has been brought on by the Bellica Quantum bundle, so we're going to be looking at that. But in short, I think the best way for me to summarize my take is going to be for me to cut to a clip of the most recent Predcast. The Bearded Wolverine had an absolutely phenomenal take. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to that, and then we'll jump back into it.
Yeah. I don't want the main quantum skin for Bellica. To me, is not good. I don't like it. I think the skin itself is good. I don't like the color coordination. It looks ugly to me. The white and purple one, I know that's all Windu. I don't like it. But that Nova Quantum one, that one's fire. I would love to have that one. I only have one way of getting that one. Buying the whole bundle. And I don't want the spray. I don't want the avatar. I don't want anything else that goes with it. I literally want just that skin. Give me that skin. That's all I want. I will spend money on it, but you don't give me the option to do just that. That's what a bundle is to me. Like, hey, here's all you have, all this stuff in the store. These are all options. But if you, instead of doing this, you can get all of it and we'll give it to you for a cheaper price. That's what a bundle is supposed to be.
So Bearded, I completely agree. I think that absolutely the bundles do not feel like actual bundles. I feel like the problem with the bundles is that you are completely void of choice. That's a problem. So the bundle, if you look at it, we're going to kind of reiterate a little bit on Bearded's take. The bundle, it's only a bundle because it has all of the content in it. But the problem with the bundle is that there is absolutely no other option to purchase any of this content individually or separate from the bundle itself outside of the spray and the VFX bundle, or not even the spray. I guess it's the VFX bundle or the base skin. So hear me out. Not only is this a greedy tactic because you're trying to essentially upsell your customers from a 2,400 purchase or a 1,450 purchase to a 5,350 purchase, and again, the content is overpriced. We've already touched on that. Not only are you trying to upsell them, but you're not even doing it in a smart way. If you wanted to upsell your customers on the things that they actually want, right? Create a bundle that has the ability to choose, the ability to pick the items that you want. And not to mention, a bundle is supposed to come at a discount. So when you create a bundle like this, you should take the total price of all of the items, right? So let's say every single item had a price for it. You should take the total price of every single item, and then you should reduce that cost in the bundle. So the bundle should almost always be at a premium discount, right? It should always have the total cost of the bundle, of the items inside the bundle, with an associated cost for the discount. So the biggest issue with Pred monetization is that across the board, it feels greedy. It does. And no, I'm never going to say that I think that Predecessor is a cash grab. I don't believe that at all. I don't think that they're trying to be malicious. I just think that they're consistently missing the mark. And I think that there is an opportunity for us to provide feedback on why I don't think these kinds of bundles are good. So first and foremost, the easiest way to fix this is, one, I think that they need to do some kind of an analysis to try to figure out how to reduce their prices. I just don't personally think that Predecessor is like a big enough, quality enough product to have these kinds of costs. I think that you would have more success, or that you would at least have, even if you didn't have more financial success, I think that you would have more associated goodwill and positive word of mouth marketing if you were to lower your costs. If you lower your costs, more people would feel welcome and be becoming paying customers. More people would be able to purchase the content. More people would be welcome to purchasing content and potentially even turn into future customers and future paying customers and creating sales for you in the future personally. So that's the first one. The second one is looking at the bundle. This bundle, the biggest issue with the bundle is that it voids the player of choice. And choice for the player base is always the best option, right? Choice to play the game casually in Brawl. Choice to play the game unranked in, Standard. Choice to play the game ranked when ranked comes out. You always want to give players the option of choice, and this bundle just voids the players of choice. Currently, if I want this skin, if I want this skin, just this skin, no VFX, no spray, no icon, no banner, nothing like that. The only way for me to purchase this skin, the purple one, is to pay $53.50 platinum, which again is a ludicrous premium price, but also it just voids me that choice. That's not even a good business tactic. If you want to make sales, you have to give the players the choice. You have to give them the choice of the bundle at a discount, and then you have to give them the ability to pick and choose, right? Like that's basically, I just said the same thing twice, but you get the point. It's that important. So give us the ability to choose. maybe consider lowering your prices. And I think that that personally would win you over a lot of favor. Now, for me, I'm just going to be honest with it. I don't play Bellica. I already said that. If I was going to buy a skin, it would be this one. I think that this one is sick as hell. It really is. This is a badass skin. Oh, there also was like a little caveat that I wanted to throw in there, because this often gets brought up in the discussion about cosmetic content. I think that this is so important for me to say, dude, I don't care where the content came from. I don't care if it's a Paragon asset. I don't care if it's a Predecessor asset. And you want to know why? Because I didn't play Paragon and I wouldn't know anyways. There's going to be a lot of people that will touch Paragon or Predecessor, that don't know. So I think harping about, oh, well, that was a Paragon asset, or oh, this is a remake, or oh, this is an original. None of that fucking matters. We got to let those kind of conversations go. Those things do not matter. This is Predecessor. I'm looking at the content. I'm looking at the costs. I'm looking at the business practices. I want to keep it inside the Predecessor bubble. I don't care. I don't care about Paragon. I understand that you maybe used to have this skin. I understand that you have context of it. It just doesn't really matter anymore. So I think that that's really important to have that conversation. So this is my take. I think that this is a very simple fix. I think that these are things. The hardest part about doing what I'm asking is probably lowering the prices. I think that they should probably do an analysis and find some kind of ways to maybe make their prices seem a little bit more approachable to the average player. Personally, I think that that's really important. I really do. But more so than that, actually creating accessible bundles and accessible content that people can get their hands on. Again, Bearded said himself he said it himself in the Predcast that Bearded only wants this skin right here. He only wants this one. But this skin alone, for someone that physically and mentally does not want any of the other content, this skin alone is not worth 53.50 premium currency. It's just not. And so he won't buy it. Where if you gave it to him at an individual cost, he would maybe buy it. So considering bundling the actual bundle at a reduced price, consider giving the players the choice to pick and choose what they want, and consider lowering your prices. And do I dare say, consider relooking at Affinity. But that's, I think that battle has been long lost. So friends, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, this is not to hate on the game. This is to push the game into the future. This is to help them understand the value of strong business practices and how to retain players and earn a sale, right? And again, I don't have their data. I'm not a business major. I'm just a customer, right? I'm just a customer. I know what I will and won't spend my money on, and the reality is that the majority of things that are in this store, the majority of bundles, I won't spend my money on. I do have some skins. Some of them I regret buying. Some of them I'm just still burning through some of my platinum already, so it's like it was whatever. But I don't actually think there's very much that actually is kind of worth the value. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Drop a like in the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. As always, be sure to be kind to one another, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.